All right, everyone. This is a little lecture on your next assignment, which is historical vessel examples. Let's see, one second, sorry. Okay, so we're looking at historical vessel examples for your next assignment or your first big project, which I want you to focus on using the slab and the pinch pot method that we have gone over so far. So as you probably have seen in my demonstration videos or will see, this is how to make a slab. I gave you a lot of different options on how to roll out a slab with a rolling pin, using the throwing slab method, using a water bottle. As you can see here, there are two different pieces of wood and a rolling pin. In a studio, you'll find people doing this so that their slabs can be super even, but that's not something I'm requiring. Just wanted to show you that. And then you tried a little bit, you had a whack at the pinch pot method. So with these two things in mind, you can really actually build quite a bit. So for your historical vessel assignment, you need to recreate a historical vessel. And although the dimensions don't have to be the exact same size, it does need to be relative and in proportion to the original vessel. So something to consider, and I don't really want you to worry about it too much right now, is that did you know that all your greenware ceramic work shrinks about 10% in the bisque fire? So even when the work dries out, you will notice how it has shrunk just a bit. So always push yourself to make your work just a little bit bigger. That way you won't be disappointed when it shrinks. This is just sort of, I'm giving you beginner's advice. Remember that the thicker the walls of your clay of your project, the more likely you will see cracking in your work as it dries or during or after the bisque firing. And so just in general, make sure your work is never over a half inch thick. In my all my videos, I'm always talking about a quarter inch to a half inch thick is good. It's a good place to start because you don't want to have something so thick that it ends up cracking or something so thick that it doesn't completely dry out by the time it goes into the bisque fire. So all of that moisture that's still stuck inside could possibly explode in the kiln. So we're going to start by looking at some historic vessels. These are really beautiful vessels that are created from different tribes people in the continent of Africa, and they are all fired. These are all bisque fired. They're not glazed, and these pieces here are usually fired in like a pit with different materials like straw and like dung and other things that are just essentially around to burn. Rice is another thing. So I think these are really beautiful pieces. I like them because they remind me of the human form, and they're really simple too. Like the way that I'm guessing this could have been made with a pinch pot at the base and then a slab to create the neck of this bottle with just, a simple little slab or coil for a handle. And then these are really beautiful little surface treatment. I wonder how that was made. I'm not sure. Could have been from adding slip onto the body, which we'll look at more at surface decoration, but this general texture reminds me a lot of hair. And the one on the right is also a historic vessel that has some sort of cleavage, which, talks about just any sort of crevice on the human body. And I like this sort of anthropomorphic, functional, human ceramic jugs, I think are really interesting forms. So below is to the left here is a beer storage vessel from Tanzania. And I'm thinking that was probably constructed as using the pinch pot method and then maybe using the paddling technique to create these nice, beautiful angles with a really wide belly. And Also the one on the right, I'm guessing, that could have been the pinch pot technique also with a tiny little slab for the neck. So these are very beautiful forms, super simple, little decoration, not too much going on with that, but still very, very unique and very rustic, but also super functional and still kind of have like a little bit of a backstory that keeps me pretty intrigued. Here's a Mayan sculpture. This is something that could be pretty easily done with a slab. So this is an incense burner with a face, made around 800 BC. So this was constructed by rolling out slabs, stacking them on top of each other, and features a face where the facial features are molded on and then slipped and scored. Sorry, that reads a little different down there. So you're going to want to make sure that when you're attaching any pieces of clay to other pieces of clay, you have to remember to use the slip and score method, in which case I'm just going to direct you to Canvas really quick as I'm recording and sharing. So you have the slip and score page here. It's really a really simple concept. The only thing that could go wrong is that you just don't actually score your clay pieces enough. So this page will always be here accessible to you with steps on how to make slip. Just pretty much by putting clay in a container, adding water until it becomes mushy and muddy like, kind of like a cream consistency. You whip it up so that it's not too chunky and just wet. You want to mix it up. And then I labeled my containers. And so that's the slip. And then I show you how to attach the clay together. You take one piece of clay, I'm attaching it here and here. Take a piece of clay and you start to score it. This is an example of how to not score it. This is how you want to score it with a fork. You're just scratching it up. That's called scoring. And then you want to do that to both sides of the clay and you want to add the slip on top of it. Essentially, scoring is creating a bunch of surface area into the clay. And I think of making these two scoring surfaces that act like Velcro that can be stuck together. That's like how I like to think about it. And the slip just keeps it really wet and dries a longer time, which ensures less breakage. So that's how you slip and score. You can always access that there. Okay. This is another beautiful pot that is from the Igbo tribe. And I can imagine that this could be made with a pinch pot and then a slab just added on top with a lot of little added details. I really like this slab that they used at some negative space. Lots of little tiny moments of negative space in this beautiful historic vessel with a little kind of like snake charm and really beautiful carving to go with it. Here's some Egyptian pictures with geometric decoration. This is in the Louvre, and these are, I'm guessing, made out of slabs. They could be coiled, but the thing about ceramics is that, or working with clay, is that you can do one thing a million different ways. So I'm actually just reaching out for examples that I think could be made fairly easily with using the slab technique and the pinch pot technique. You could even make a pinch pot and cut it in half and then add a slab down here in order to create this entire form. It's kind of just like figuring out what methods make the best shapes and arranging them and assembling them together. I love this ewer. It's super cool. This is like an ancient Chinese ewer that is unglazed earthenware. And I was thinking that maybe these feet were made by darding. Darding is a way of cutting away slab clay to control the shape, which you'll see a video in this specific page below this video, the historic vessel page, excuse me. And anyways, this ewer, these feet could have been made from darding. These feet could have been made from the pinch pot method, and then rolled into a funnel shape on the table. And then a slab that goes over here, and then another slab that is just very organic shaped, and also a slab for the handle. And I don't know, I think this is also another example of like an anthropomorphic vessel that has character or like a liveliness, that like you can see that a lot of like these historic vessels have, which is why this is such a fun project. And also, I feel like there's something very Tim Burton about this piece that is so ancient too, which is just something to note and to mention. I found this Egyptian horse falcon vessel. This is a really beautiful piece that could be made fairly easily from slabs. There's a demonstration video that you'll find where, I'm using slabs and tracing on paper to figure out, best shapes in order to construct with. So yeah, creating these wings out of slabs seems pretty doable, and then just sort of sculpting this little falcon head and body and wild tail would be really fun. And then I love this boar's head. This is a Grecian. It's made by Sodades, and when I was looking him up, he's just really, really well known for just being a huge practitioner of ceramics at the time. And this is just a really beautiful boar's head with a handle, very anthropomorphic. And I love that glossy black is really, really gorgeous, which is done with a slip and some surface decoration techniques of burnishing to make that shine. So that is also very, very gorgeous. These are all just ideas to look at, and it's up to you to research what you think is interesting. It can come from any sort of culture, your culture, any culture is fine. And if you want to go out of your boundaries and try something new, I'm totally up for it. So don't forget, any sort of rounded edge you can use for any sort of rounded edge, you can use the paddling technique. And I have some videos on how to do that. It's just a really good way to control the clay and the shape. So, this could have, I'm guessing that this form was once round, and then this artisan paddled this to have sides to it. So yeah, a wooden spoon would work the best. And like I said, the Egyptian falcon or the Grecian boar, making this object or this object, you could try to start off with a paper template first, in which I'll show you, there's a demonstration for you to watch about that. So have a needle tool around, get ready to make slabs, get ready to use a pinch pot method, and try to make a piece that is just fun for you. All right, thank you.